Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me, guys? Morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Okay, so we're closing up. I'll just give people a few minutes more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good morning, everyone. So I'm actually trying to get my camera to work, but it doesn't seem to go my way today. So you will have to do with my voice. So just want to welcome everybody to this webinar about Windows 11 Pro and the Intel V project. Today we have two speakers. We have Pamina Kavala from Intel, and we have Ashley Atkinson from the Microsoft team. So with not much further ado, I will just let Pamina have the stage first. So welcome, Pamina. You're unmuted, Pamina.
Hello. Now, hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. So yeah, let me start by sharing my presentation, and please feel free to ask any question, I suppose, in the chat, and I will ask for also people, because I cannot see your name, unfortunately.
Yes, sorry. My name is Lina. What's your question?
Okay. To help me if there is any question actually to answer.
Sure. I'll keep track of the chat. So if anybody has any questions for Pamina, just write it in the chat, and I will make sure it gets through to her.
Okay. Let me do the presentation. Can you see the correct screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so we will start with the question of our webinar today. Why vPro? What is vPro? And actually, vPro is a technology that it's in the age of 18, so we are adults. And we will go through what is vPro, what are the basic pillars of vPro, and please ask any questions that you would like to ask. Some notices and disclaimers. So couple of months ago, I think it was 7 months ago, we have announced the Ultra generation of our core CPUs. And with that, we also announced the vPro CPUs of the core. So vPro is actually our commercial differentiation built for business CPUs for or across all the line of business. So that means that you will find vPro CPUs in desktops, laptops, and sometimes you will find them in tablets. So let's move forward. So if you actually have right now a laptop or desktop, you're working on a laptop or a desktop, please check your sticker, your Intel sticker. So some of you will maybe have a vPro sticker on that. You're the lucky one. So that means that your company actually invested in a endpoint which is built for business. So apart from these stickers, this sticker actually, vPro is built on 4 pillars. The first one is productivity. So actually, when you're working on a vPro endpoint, that means that you have the best-in-class performer, and with all the new tech and innovative features that you will actually find in an endpoint, you will find them in a vPro CPU, in a vPro endpoint. You have all the security features that you could actually find in the market for an endpoint. You will find them in the vPro CPUs. And I will explain some of these features in my next slide. And we have also a dedicated security webinar in 2 weeks from now. You also investing in a vPro device, so that means that it's part of the stability program of Intel. So that sticker actually means that the endpoint has been certified by Intel, and actually all the hardware components and the software components have been certified by Intel, and within 15 months of our CPU launch, you can actually use the same golden image across all the vPro endpoints, regardless of the OEM that you're using. And that is because we are using the same or the similar hardware components, like the chipset across the vPro CPUs within our 15 months of launch. And these are the 3 basic pillars which are ready and out of the box ready. So you don't have to enable anything. When you're opening actually the lid, you're enjoying all these features that I have mentioned. One feature that actually needs your help and our support is the manageability feature. So when you're investing, or your company is investing in a vPro device, you actually are buying our AMT technology, active management technology. And with that technology, we are giving the chance and the opportunity actually to IT administrator to have hardware access, remote manageability hardware access in our vPro in CPUs in his or her organization. So that means even if the operation system fails to open, you can still have access to this hardware, to this vPro CPU. And actually, we are giving, with the AMT technology and with this manageability feature, you can actually have access to our endpoint management assistant, which is a web-based tool in order to get access to all of your vPro CPUs, vPro devices in your organization. And let's go to each pillar one by one. So I have mentioned security. I will actually say a little bit now, but in 2 weeks, and this is a sneak peek, we can go deeper into the security features. So when we mean security at Intel, we are very focused on that, and we are taking it very seriously. And I have been through many conversations with our customers about how secure could be our endpoints. So at Intel, we are investing continuously to enhance and to improve and to actually add new security features. One of them is the Intel threat detection technology, which we are very proud, and it's actually unique in Intel CPUs. And what you can do with the Intel threat detection technology, you can actually identify, so your silicon can actually identify any malfunction of the CPU, of the silicon, and can notify the end user that something is happening, something wrong is happening in your CPU. And with the support of the third-party application, third-party antivirus application, like Windows Defender or CrowdStrike, you can actually stop this attack in your silicon level. We also have security features in the application or in the operation system level, and we also have security features in the VM level of virtualized level of any endpoint. So with that, I can summarize, and this is a sneak peek for the security session that we will have in a couple of weeks, of what we can actually offer and what is included in the vPro CPUs, and when we are saying security in the vPro platforms and vPro endpoints, Intel vPro endpoints. Let's go to the manageability, which is actually one of my favorite topics. As I have said before, with vPro platforms, vPro platforms means, for me, the Intel Active Management technology. And when you provision or activate this technology in your endpoint, that means that with the Intel Management Endpoint Assistant, you can remote manage in the hardware level all of your vPro devices. And this is this tool, and what I'm saying right now is everything is free of charge. You just need to go AMT and active management technologies. 1 year ago, or 1.5 actually year ago, we have also announced the initiative Intel Chip to Cloud initiative for management, and that means that you can actually manage devices, vPro devices, so the chip, the hardware level, from cloud with third-party applications. So one of these third-party applications that we have partnered, and you can actually get into a chip directly from this cloud software manageability tool, is Workspace ONE from VMware. Stability, as I have said before, within our 15 months of CPU launch, you can rest assured that we will always and continuously update our drivers in order for you actually to have compatibility in all of the, or the majority of the Windows application. So this is a number 99.7% compatibility with all the Windows 11 Pro applications. It's part, the vPro platforms are part of stable IT platform program. And we support with the vPro platform, we support with all the drivers and all the firmware updates, Windows 10, Windows 11 up to 3 generations behind. Moving forward, so this is, someone has invested, or your company has invested, or you have invested in a very expensive and high-end device. What is the gain? Because we all, also me, because we live in a consumer environment and we need to take some ROI back, right? So what is that we are offering to you in a ROI, as a ROI? So over 3 years, in over 3-year period, you will get back 200% of your money. So this is an enormous percentage that you will get back in ROI, and over 3 years period, based on our research, that means that it's after 3 years you have to refresh your endpoints because of the security, because of the driver, all of this. So you will get back your money, and you will get more than this if, and I'm highlighting this, you fully get into the AMT technology, you activate AMT technology, and you're fully utilizing this concept, or not concept, the remote manageability in a hardware level. Based on our researches, again, you can get 30%, the IT admin will get 30% back of his time to deploy remotely a vPro CPU, and 65% less time to manage the Intel vPro devices versus a non-vPro device. One example is that I had one customer, let's say, here in Sweden, that had a lot of branches across Sweden. So the ask was, I need to actually remote wake up all of my devices in a certain time in order for my employees to go and be ready to work. So with Emma, Endpoint Management Assistant, and vPro devices, we also have a remote wake up feature, and we can add an alarm clock, wake up all of the devices at one time, and then the employees or anyone could be actually ready. Or you can wake up the devices during non-working hours, and we can update the drivers in order for the employee and end user actually to be ready to use the devices. Another huge factor of vPro devices that we tend to forget is that we are talking about sustainability, and we are very careful about sustainability and about our environment. 94% of our vPro devices are part of the EPEAT, which is an environmental certificate, silver or better, silver and gold. And imagine that because you can have the remote hardware manageability, we have reduced up to 90% on-site service calls. So you don't need to visit anyone, or you don't need to ship your device if your device is broken, if your operation system doesn't work. 2 more slides. One about Evo vPro. So if you go to a retail shop, you will see some Evo platforms, which are the high-end devices, thin design, instant wake up, and some of other innovative features that OEMs are adding to these devices. With vPro Evo device, you can actually have a vPro device all the features that I told you I described in my previous slide in an Evo device. Because I'm a little bit into sports, I want to describe Evo vPro as a vPro on steroids device. Two more slides and I'm done. Refresh now, because based on what we see and what we can actually say is that you can gain up to 47% more productivity because of better performances versus a 3-year-old PC, and you can get up to 27% more productivity versus a competitor's CPU. And I think I'm slightly in the time. Thank you very much. I will stop sharing and I will give the stage for my colleague from Microsoft.
Thank you, Pamina. Really appreciate that. That was really interesting. And thank you all for joining us on this really nice brief messaging about vPro. But my messaging is going to be slightly different. We're going to look at the Microsoft compete message, how we stack up in certain categories when it comes to customers and what they want from their businesses and what they need to meet their business goals. So let me quickly go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I want to start off by sharing that this messaging is going to be rather brief, but we're going to have enough content within it that you can get something out of it. But more importantly, I want to show you where you can go for the full package of information. So if you haven't heard of it already, if you haven't seen me before, I often talk about the Expert Zone platform. This is a learning platform that we can all use to gain much more insight into Windows 11 and Windows 11, Windows' entire ecosystem, in fact, and all their products and services that can benefit customers. So if you do have a phone nearby, do click on the QR code, get a QR code and register. If you're already registered, have a look at this course. I think it'd be really beneficial for you. Right. So as I said, my name is Ashley Atkinson. I'm a commercial master trainer from Microsoft, and it is going to be about the compete messaging. But I first want to start off talking about options, choice. Customers love choice when it comes to solutions for their problems. They don't want to be confined to any particular avenue. And that's what Windows 11 Pro effectively is. It is about choice, where you can get multiple different options to easily fit their need. I'm talking about a variety of different devices that meet the need of a customer, whether it be a 2-in-1 device, one with a touchscreen, or one that's a high-performing device as well, all within the same platform. What we're trying to talk about here is this messaging we're going to cover today is more about productivity, security, and manageability, while always offering that choice. Advancements in technology and also to save money at the same time. Now, throughout this training session, we're going to talk about a number of things like the actual total cost of ownership. Again, that's a similar messaging we saw earlier. And we're going to cover the benefits to you, the resellers that are going to be out there speaking to customers, and how you can see where Windows 11 can fit into their business. When it comes to Windows, we want to think about how we can eliminate inefficiencies and redundancies within the business. That is the essence of productivity. Making sure that IT professionals are able to do more with less. Making their systems secure in a hybrid world. Now, we know that as things have happened since many years ago with the pandemic, hybrid work life is the standard nowadays. So IT admins have the added task of working with devices that are not always on premise. They're going to be everywhere. And technology that supports that is adamant and definitely paramount and always going to be a key factor when people choose new devices for refresh. And this is where we believe Windows 11 stands out. So here we have a few things I want to bring up that really makes Windows 11 Pro stand out. when it comes to cost. So when you think about conversations with customers and they talk about budget or a very transactional thing and they're not sure whether they can afford a refresh at this time of year, these are the things you should have in the back of your mind about how we can position Windows 11 over the competition. One key thing is about how we can reduce cost of licensing with the M365. Your customers will often need to collaborate, especially in a hybrid work life. So having the M365 license along with a Windows 11 Pro device is a natural progression to that sale. Other things I want to really make a good focus on is the reduction in deployment time and device management. So that 24% you see in the bottom left is something I really want you to pay attention to, because management is costly. And the larger the business gets, the more those costs are going to increase. I'm going to show you some figures of a typical organization and show you how they can actually recoup a lot of their costs and investment when they transition to a Windows 11 Pro ecosystem to a complete across. So when we also move over to things like data breach, how we can protect customers daily in evolving threats that happen in those cyber threat environments. We actually employ a zero trust model. Equivalent to this, it's a case of every time you enter the building, you have to show your ID. And that's how our devices work at its core. They assume breach until proven otherwise. This is something that's really valuable to businesses, and they probably don't know it. But you as a trusted advisor can give them that reassurance and that direction when they're seeking guidance for new devices in the future. So I said a lot about return on investment. Well, there is a study to back this up. It's called the Total Economic Impact Study. Now, this followed companies that actually transitioned completely over to Windows 11 Pro. And these are the data they got back. They got 250% of return on investment after 3 years, and they got a full payback within the first 6 months. Within that same report, we also had where those findings kind of came from there, what those details were. Help desk tickets were reduced far more compared to how they were previously. What is the cost to your customers for every support ticket they receive? They may not know, or if they do know, they can tell you. And then the number of support tickets they receive mounts up into a cost they can actually factor in. Now tell them if you can reduce it by 80%, that's something they can actually apply to their investments, to their bottom line. So it's something they may be interested in. And this is another way we can say that Windows 11 Pro stands out against the competition. So I said I was going to give you a composite of how an organization savings could look like. In a study, we found that end user productivity massively improved, or savings were seen in that 3-year total benefits, an incredible 1.3 million in this case. This is the sort of thing that customers want to see. They want to see that when they do apply their funding and investment, they can get a return on that. And this is the messaging we want to convey. Now, we can't have the return on investment without the key thing of productivity. And productivity, we believe, lies in AI. And AI is the best thing about what Windows 11 Pro does in terms of productivity. One key thing I'd love to present to you is that 70% of employees find using AI does lighten the workload. And we are doing it in small and big ways. We have proactive intelligent protection. Now, this is about safeguarding against those threats. And this is about things like phishing detection. We have Microsoft Defender Smart Screen, protecting the credentials of users. If a malicious application were to use or ask for their credentials, that would alert the user to change their credentials instantly. Smarter search. This is about, again, efficiencies from using our platform, which is Windows 11 Pro, and searching for those files that you can easily find at the click of a button. Having the search bar at the bottom, not just for web, but also for files as well, means that you can search your OneDrive, your SharePoint, and the web all in one place. And then we have these meetings. We're going back to the flexible work life. We're doing more meetings. We're doing more emails. We need to make that effortless. We need to make it easy and seamless. And this is where Windows 11 Pro shines, in that we make sure those meetings are effortless, and we have the AI technology to make sure that when you're presenting, you're seen in the best light. Noise is cancelled effortlessly as well. And finally, one thing we're always proud of is that accessibility for all is always there. We have live captions for those who find hearing impairments. We also have things like voice activations and voice access, so that for those who just can't use the keyboard can use our platform as well. And that's all without having to have different peripheral devices attached to that device to access it. It's all within the operating system. Now, we couldn't talk about AI without talking about Copilot, your personal assistant. Now, this is a massive thing where we can really stand out against the competition. It's your colleague at work, your manager, your person you can go to for advice, that allows you to do all those simple tasks, but easily and more efficiently day to day. So what does that actually look like? If you're one of those people who finds it hard to write an email, and you really want to get that communication done first time, what if you could write it out and get feedback from an assistant that was always with you? Or maybe you just want to research a particular thing, a particular idea, or you want to collaborate and get some notes on a call you've just made with a customer. You've got these notes, you put them into Copilot. Could you organize these for me and develop a list of actions? Copilot could do that. Or maybe you're having a hard time coming up with an idea. This is how this is how you can embrace this tool to really be more efficient as a user, and also have a much more enjoyable experience with a device in the workplace. So when we think about all those benefits and then we stack it up against the competition, it really does make sense. So when we see customers that want to help to do things faster, it makes sense to offer them something like ones that can have the option of using pen, voice, and touchscreen, all within the same platform. Whereas the competitions, you may have to get two separate devices, or they just don't have the option at all. You do want to have maybe a slap player option, because if you're a power user, you may have multiple screens. I myself are doing 2 screens right now, and I do find it useful. And then we have workflows, and we know we can do desktop optimization, again, using Copilot. And I've already mentioned that taskbar to allow us to search for those files needed easily and quickly. As I told you before, when it comes to management of a device, these costs add up. And we need to know that the customer, when it comes to moving or upgrading a system, they may have this resistance, or they're not aware of how easy it can be to move from where they are to a new system. And with Windows 11 being built on Windows 10, the natural trajectory is Windows 11. And that with that, the migration for business applications is easier than ever before. A high application and high device compatibility is perfect for what businesses are looking for. They don't want to transition and have to change all the peripherals, all their business applications, just to get something different, when Windows 11 really does meet the business need. You can also take advantage of the zero-touch deployment with Autopilot, and then the MDMs that come with it, such as Microsoft Intune, allowing you to seamlessly manage the system easily. And we also have many opportunities to help update those systems easily as well. So I have a question for you. We can use the chat, and it's a simple ABCD question. Which platform offers the greatest application capability? Just put in the letter you think it is in the chat, and I'll just have a look right now for you. Yeah, so if you just put in the chat any letter you think, just answer the question, the which platform offers the greatest application capability. Vetri, thank you very much. You think it's D? Anyone else think differently? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1 I'll give you a few more seconds. Henry, thank you so much. Another person who thinks it's D. One more. Thank you so much, Lena. Oh, here they come thick and fast. Thank you so much. And you are all indeed correct. It is indeed D. Windows does have the greatest application capabilities compared to the competition, as well as device capabilities as well. So the message we're trying to convey is when it comes to choosing what to offer a customer, it isn't about my personal preference or my friend's personal preference. It's about the preference of the customer and what their needs are. Do they need a device that's fit for any work style? Do they need one that works with them anywhere? Is security an issue? Is security something that they're really, really high priority on their radar when it comes to making their device choices? I think that something like Windows Pro does meet that challenge. And also we have the ability to reduce costs as well by having a more holistic system, like eliminating redundancies for IT and security. And also, as I said before, that zero-touch deployment using features like the software like Windows Autopilot to send devices to the new employees and even new devices to them. You get that benefit of easily sending them and deploying them and getting them up and running quickly. Now, another way that Windows stands out against the competition is the opportunity for you. With the Windows 10 end of support approaching in October 14th, 2025, time is of the essence. And we know with historic data that Windows 7 end of support saw an increase in demand for new devices. In the quarters leading up to this date, we think that will happen again. So this is an opportunity to capitalize on that need and that drive from customers that will increasingly want to get new devices ahead of this end of support date. So we do think that there's an opportunity here for you to capitalize on those demands coming. But there's also more. You can benefit too. You can now become seen as a trusted advisor when it comes to selling products and services. And it's not just about selling the device, it's about a much larger picture. That's just an entry gateway in how you can help the customer in their journey and meeting their goals. What am I talking about? I'm talking about cross-selling and upselling devices and services. We have Microsoft 365. They may want to go to a more cloud-based system like having an Azure package. They may need your services to maybe migrate data from one section to another. This is where you can add value to their needs and goals that may come across. And finally, that also includes value-added services that are unique to you as a reseller. So do take into account that this is all there where Windows 11 really does shine in terms of the competition. Lastly, I'd like to really get your feedback of this Microsoft delivery. It's fairly short. I know I couldn't go into much more detail than if I had more time, but I do hope that you got some value out of this. So if you have your phone next to you, please do scan the QR code and give your feedback. It'd be really generous of you. And please tell us what you would like to see more of in the future. Part of this series is going to be the Windows 11 Security Pro, which is in a couple of weeks, along with Pamina. So I look forward to seeing you there. And I just want to, while you're doing that feedback, give you some takeaways of what makes Windows better for business. As I said, we've got an extensive list of devices at the very beginning. Option, flexibility is something that people enjoy. I like choice. We all like choice, and so do our customers. We also like the fact that we have transition change is challenging. So migration from one area to another, one system to another can be something daunting. But with Windows 11, that's not the case when your customer's on Windows 10. We also have peripherals and printer support extensively in our systems as well as enterprise-grade protection, as we have stated as well. Not to mention collaboration tools and being able to be flexible with management options such as Microsoft Intune and Microsoft Windows Autopilot as well. And I'll end it there. So for those who want to get a bit more, this is just a taster of what you can learn about the complete messaging. Please do sign up to the Expert Zone platform and do try and complete the complete mission course accreditation. That'd be really helpful for your knowledge and to give you a bit more insight. That's it from me. Thank you so much for your time. I will put the feedback QR code back on the screen if you didn't get a chance to do a scan of it. Again, your feedback is much appreciated. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you both for good presentations. I only have left to wish all of you a very happy Thursday, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.